Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of BSing Sports here on the BSing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. As you can see with me on my Eagles recap shows, my boy Kyle. Kyle,
Hey, how's it going?
you sound about as depressed as I feel. Let's
Yeah,
uh
it's
let's
hard
let's
to
kick
be
this off.
positive right now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Let's
For
kick it off.
everyone.
Tim Brandt, thanks for joining us. Eagles. Tim Brandt says Eagles can't stop a old grandma and grandpa running through the hole on third down. Yeah, so this is not going to
Depends
be a
on who the
super.
grandpa is, okay?
Yeah, this is not going to be a super positive show. So if you're watching and you're an Eagles fan, just let it be known your birds look like shit right now. Just so as you know.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. Obviously, it's a recap show, so let's talk about the Cardinals game. Uh, you're up 15 points at the half, and then you turn around and you give up all those yards to a toddler running around like he stole something from his parents. Uh, it's just the play calling was atrocious. This is just how we feel right now. We're just so deflated. It's hard to get into. Yeah, Tim Hawkins, you make a good point. They were out coached by John Gannon in this second half of this game. Earlier in the season, I had preached so much how good the halftime adjustments had been, and I just don't know where they've been lately. It's like they've stopped. Kyle, how do you feel about the lack of halftime adjustments on the Eagles?
Um, I'm not even really sure the adjustments really have been adjustments at all. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
starting to wonder if it was just them getting lucky. Like we were talking about weeks ago about them hitting these miracle big plays and stuff like that, right? Like that's what I'm starting to think is, luck was on our side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I am right there with you. Maybe especially look, I get maybe why you don't in the Giants game, you maybe don't make adjustments. You go into the half, you're up 20 to nothing. You think to yourself, okay, we're cruising. We don't need to do anything. But you let the Giants get right back in that game. Couple of mistakes, bad mistakes.
Mm.
Um, Goddard falling caused a pick six. I want to be very clear about that. Jalen Hurts put the ball right where Goddard was going to be standing had he not slipped out of his route against the
Mm.
Giants. And that was a pick six. Obviously, you had your own fumble on the 4 yard line because Zacchaeus runs into Boston Scott. I don't know why Boston Scott's returning that ball. Again, mental mistakes. And then it just keeps compounding and compiling. And it's same thing in this Cardinals game, right? You go into the half, you're up by 15 points. You think to yourself, okay, we're cruising. And then they come out of the half, first drive, they score a touchdown. And all of a sudden you're looking at the scoreboard and you're like, here we go again.
Well,
It's the
even more
Seahawks
so, I
again.
felt like this game actually for the first time, and I can't remember how many weeks, it felt like they were actually in control of the game again. Like I mean, it felt like their time possession was good and everything. Like they were driving the ball down the field, everything looked good. And then comes halftime, everything just, I don't know, what, everything fell apart again. It's like that's what keeps happening. Like they fix one thing, something else falls apart. They fix one thing, something else falls apart. It's just, I don't know.
So Tim Brandt points out something to me that I had not even found as a statistic because again I didn't get to. I told you this right before we jumped on air. I didn't get to watch the game because I was working at my second job. But fortunately, I didn't watch the game because I would have been pissed sitting on my couch watching that game. Tim Brandt points out the Cardinals had 7 drives the whole game, and the defense had one stop on third down. One stop.
Mm.
That's
And they
pathetic.
had like what, 32 first downs, I think is
Cardinals had
they
32
had.
first downs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but
I only have the season statistics of the Eagles and then what their opponents have done to them.
mhm.
Tim Hawkins asks a question that Nick Sirianni answered, so I have no reason to try and debate it. He said, we're trying to give teams different looks because if we're predictable, they're going to get the ball out faster. We know he's a great pass rusher, but we were trying to, confuse Kyler Murray a little bit. Didn't work, guy. Maybe you paid a guy to rush the passer. Let him rush the damn passer.
Mm.
What do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'd like to see them blitz more often, to be honest with you. I don't know. I feel like they're like at this point, you might as well just stack the box. Our back end's getting blown out so bad, you might as well just stack the box and just blitz them every single time. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
Rip Wink Martindale, whatever the hell that guy's name is from the Giants. That's what he did to us. He's just like blitz up every play right down the throat.
Like usually when teams blitz a lot, it's because their secondary can cover. Our secondary apparently can't cover.
Yeah.
I will say that I've seen some promising things out of Keely Ringo, and I've seen some promising things out of Sidney Brown. I like Sidney Brown's intensity. He needs to clean up his penalties, though, because he's a little too intense out there. So I've seen some good things out of these young guys, but they're still not covering for shit. You let Kyler Murray walk down the field in 2 minutes and score a go-ahead touchdown on you at the end of the game there. Like Kyler Murray in an offense that hasn't moved all season long put up 35 points against you.
Yeah.
It's like
speechless. I mean, honestly,
like,
what can you say that not everyone's already saying on every other show or what? I mean, it's insane. Like, you can't defend this anymore. Everyone was trying to be positive for as long as they could. And
29 days ago,
you know,
29 days ago, they were 10-1. They had just beat the Bills in overtime, and we were feeling really good. And look at us now.
I honestly wasn't feeling good.
That's right, you weren't. I will give you your credit
all year long, dude. I have.
I will give you your credit. You have 100% been calling them out all year, and I kept responding with, "They keep winning." Well, they're not winning right now.
Yeah. Well, they could be, though. That's the thing, though, is that they could be winning these games because they are still close. Unfortunately, they shouldn't be as close, but it's for some reason they've been playing down and up to their competition all year long as well.
Yeah, outside of the 49ers game, I would agree, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm already tired of talking about the Cardinals game. Let's get into it. So the Eagles clinched a playoff spot before even playing against the Giants on Christmas. Good for them. They had the opportunity to lock up the 2 seed after the Lions well, that's a whole other thing. After the Lions lost to the Cowboys, if the Eagles had won on Sunday, they had an opportunity to lock up the 2 or at least the 2 seed, and possibly even still come back and get the 1 seed from the Niners pending this week's game. But they didn't, so they're likely going to end up as the 5 seed because I don't think the Commanders are going to beat Dallas. So I think the Eagles are going to be the 5 seed, which means they're probably going to Tampa. Actually, I mean, they could literally go to any one of those 3 teams. It could be the Saints, it could be the Falcons, or it could be Tampa. That's how crazy that division is right now. But let's get into some stats, right? So Jalen Hurts on the year. He's got a 66% completion percentage, 3,800 yards passing. That's broken down to 237 yards a game. His opponents have a 65% completion percentage against the Eagles defense for 4,250 yards for 265 yards a game. In addition to 34 touchdowns through the air against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Only 8 interceptions. That statistic alone right there, 34 touchdowns through the air, only 8 interceptions, and a 97.6 QBR. You're going to lose a lot of games that way. Honestly, looking at the stats, I'm surprised they're an 11-win team.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point,
you and me both.
What can you really say? You know, the stats themselves. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously, like weeks ago, we were pointing out how the stats were mediocre at best, and now they've gotten even worse. Like, because actually, like you said before, the run, like we weren't that bad on the run, like, you know, in the first half of the season. Like, I think we're like 15th or I don't know. I forget where we were ranked, but
we were ranked 4th at one point.
4th, yeah. See, there you go, yeah. Right? Like, even way better than I thought, right? And then I don't understand. It's like they go and start messing with that, and then other thing, I just don't understand what's going on and why they can't get everything working right.
I think they're in panic mode, which is why they switched from Sean Desai to Matt Patricia, but in the first half of the 2 games that Matt Patricia has been the defensive coordinator, they have looked good. The problem is they're not making any adjustments at halftime, and they look like hammered dog shit coming out of the half. But like putting it in perspective, they've given up almost 1,700 rushing yards this year. A team that was 4th in the league 5 weeks ago has now given up almost 1,700 rushing yards this year. It's just sad. Let's see. Again, now here you go. Eagles rushing. They've turned the ball over 9 times, 9 fumbles, and we've only gotten 4 on defensively.
Do you think that the rushing is being exposed? Well, I mean, see, I don't know. I don't know.
See, I know we're so depressed. We don't even know how to put on a show right now. Like it's just
Well,
so aggravating.
it just doesn't make sense to me that like I understand like Christian McCaffrey like finding a weakness in the defense, right?
But right
But
now, it's
like,
every running back.
yeah, what happened? Like, is it because of the fact that they're exposing the back end, so then the the run is more like easily exposed as well now? Because
So when I'm watching the games, well, here's the biggest thing, and I think it's worth pointing out, and it should have been probably mentioned and addressed at the trade deadline. Definitely, is we don't have very good linebackers. They had like 1 or 2 good games early in the season. Zach Cunningham and or yeah, Cunningham and Morrow. Um, and we were like, okay, maybe we can get through the season with these linebackers because again, they were winning. They had some really good games. We don't have good linebackers. The Shaq Leonard signing was, and I remember saying this to you on the show, like, I don't know, the Colts just released him. How much does he really have in the tank? And it's looking like he don't have that much left in the tank. Um, so we just
you
don't
do.
have linebackers. So when you don't have linebackers, you have to give up one thing or the other. And right now, they just don't know which one they want to take away. They don't know if they want to take the run away or if they want to take the pass away. And I think that's the mistake. That's the defensive coordinator not calling the game correctly. They don't know what they want to take away. Do you want to put 6 in the box, stop the run? Or do you want to try and leave them somewhere in the zone coverage in the middle of the field and hope they maybe get a turnover? I got news for you. His team's fucking terrible in turnovers too.
Yeah.
Like, you, Ken Brandt said earlier in the comments that they're going to win one game in the playoffs, and I got news for you. They play like they did the other day. They're not winning one game in the playoffs. They're not.
I think
Shrugs.
honestly that losing CJ Gardner Johnson honestly was a way bigger hit than we ever really thought it was going to be this year.
Uh, I'm going to
Especially
disagree.
losing
I remember
uh
saying at the beginning of the season, not having CJ was going to be absolutely tremendous. And
I mean, I
you
just
know,
don't feel like we really have much of a secondary. It's like, and then I feel like at the same time, like honestly, you know what I think they should do? This is gonna sound insane, but I think they should take Reed Blankenship and like repurpose him as like a linebacker. I feel like that's where he's usually at most of the time anyway. So, and I feel like he's got really good vision and I feel like he would be a really good linebacker. He's got the build and everything for it. I don't know.
I think he's just a little bit small to be a linebacker. However, I understand where you're coming from.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a short tackler. He's not very good in coverage. Textbook linebacker right there. Um, and he's not scared to give a hit, which is another thing that I really like about Reed Blankenship. I know he gets a lot of flack because he can't cover, but
He's the
he's
only one
never.
really laying hits this year,
Yeah,
really.
that's exactly, yeah. But he was never a coverage corner or a coverage safety. Like that was never his thing. His thing was
Yeah.
making people regret coming over the middle. Now, obviously, with all the new rules, it's a little tougher for him to do that.
Yeah.
But he's usually a very sure tackler, and I do like that he delivers hits. Like I said, Sidney Brown, same thing, really intense, laying some hits. I like that, but he's got to be a little smarter, not taking penalties and shit. Um, but yeah, no, dude, you hit the nail on the head. Our secondary is just absolute dog shit.
Mm. I mean, honestly,
Bradbury,
yeah.
Bradbury's lost 300 steps. Slay being out with the knee injury is. I honestly didn't think that was going to be that much of a drop off. And it turns out that losing Slay was an even bigger drop off than I thought it was going to be. I know he hadn't been playing great this year, but he apparently is significantly better than anyone else we have on the roster at his position.
I'm starting to wonder if that conspiracy theory I had before about the kids and the substitute teacher, right? Like how Nick Sirianni's like a substitute teacher, and then all the players are just viewing him like he's just like a pushover. They're not really committing that much to anything, really, right? And I mean, another thing is like having a lot of the practices they've been doing just been like those like run throughs, and that's it. Like they're not actually practicing
This past week, they actually practiced in pads to lead up
for the
to the
first time
Cardinals
in how
game,
long, though, right?
probably the whole season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like the whole league, everything. I feel like football is going to be flag football in like 20 years, 15 years or something. I don't know. It's
I
crazy.
mean, it's getting closer and closer to that. It really is.
It's insane.
Yeah. Let's roll through some stats, I guess. Actually, I do want to kind of answer this question: Is Sirianni gone after this season?
Nah, he's going to stay.
Yeah, they're going to give him an opportunity to go find an offensive and defensive coordinator that he likes. Brian Johnson was promoted by him, but I think there was that whole Jalen Hurts relationship. Like Brian Johnson's been with Jalen Hurts since he was like a quarterback in high school, so he thought the camaraderie ship was going to be good enough for Johnson to get over the hump. That has been a failure. Sean Desai turned out to not be such a great signing, and I don't care much for Matt Patricia on any side of the ball. He was shit in New England as an offensive coordinator. He's not doing super hot as a defensive coordinator, in my opinion. But even so, if he gets his own coordinators and Howie gets him some help on the defensive side of the football, I think they'll be in better shape next year. Now, for what it's worth, I said this in a group chat text message. I know I'm kind of sort of just like rambling on, and I'm sorry. I said, your team puts up 31 points, you shouldn't be losing games. And that's the truth. The team is averaging. What's the team averaging points wise? Let's see if I can find that stat real quick. Of course, that's like the one stat I can't find. It's like the one stat I can't find. But I think as a team, outside of the one Cowboys game and the one Niners game, your team's averaging somewhere around 24 and a half points. Those are winning numbers. Like your offense putting up 24 points a game is winning numbers. But when your defense is giving up 29, 30 a game, like you gave up 35 to Kyler fucking Murray. Come on.
Yeah. And also, I think at the same time too, like a lot of the patches that they've done, like you were just referring to, I think that there's not like a whole lot of thought into it. Right? And then they're just kind of like doing it just to appease the fans or something, right? Because we start bitching and they're like, I know, complaining about the line, but so they get Shaq Leonard. They put Shaq Leonard in, and it's kind of like, why the hell do you think they cut him to begin with? You really think he had that much left? Like you were saying in the tank, they're gonna cut the guy, right?
Yeah,
So,
outside of him being a locker room cancer, which you wouldn't want on your team anyway, like why else would they have cut him?
mm.
Uh, but I digress.
But they already knew he was injured. He just came back from injury. Like he just
Yeah,
came back.
that's true too. It's just they're a tough team to watch right now.
Mm.
They're just such a tough team to watch right now.
The thing that scares me isn't even the season, dude. It's the future. Is this going to be our future? Is it going to be like we'll never go back again because of the fact that the way Lori and Howie want to run the show, is that going to be the problem?
Actually, you know what? I do have a fun fact for Eagles Nation here. Jeffrey Lurie bought the team in 1997, I believe. Rich Kotite was the coach. He started the season 7-1. He finished the season 7-9 and was fired one season. If Nick Sirianni goes from 10-1 to 11-6, hypothetically 12-5, and they get booted out of the first round of the playoffs, I'm going to say maybe Sirianni doesn't have immunity. I'm just telling you what I think happens. I think they
Oh,
give him a chance to get his
100% he
own
doesn't.
offensive and
Mm-mm.
defensive coordinators. But I don't think he's got immunity. I would agree with that 100%. So it's, something to keep an eye on. He definitely wasn't on the hot seat 5 weeks ago, but he might be now.
Oh, I definitely think 100% that he's going to start next season, but I could see him even getting fired depending on how the season goes. Like I could see him getting fired during the season. 100%.
Here's an interesting thought. I don't want this coach, but Bill Belichick will be on the market.
He would never come here. No,
I
look, this is the thing. This is the thing that's so scary about the organization, right? Is the fact that we're never going to get a good coach with the way that they run the show. Like, who the hell's going to want to come here and have Howie Roseman tell them everything how to suck eggs, dude?
That's a really good point. That is a
Like,
really, really good point. They want yes men, as
Yeah,
coaches, and the problem is you're not going to win anything with yes men.
yeah,
You
because they're over there just saying everything you just told them to say.
right there
Yeah,
from Tim Hawkins. They need a change in philosophy, and I think that starts with Howie Roseman.
they got to suck up their pride and realize that they need to come and meet somebody halfway, at least halfway. Because
Yeah, I
otherwise, you're
mean,
not going to get anybody of value. You know, like
no, I'm right. Dude, I agree with you. Let me ask you this little around the league stuff. I know it sounds weird, but Jim Schwartz is doing a really good job with that Browns defense in Cleveland.
oh, dude, I miss
Maybe
Jim Schwartz so goddamn bad right
maybe he
now.
pops back up on the availability
Listen,
market, and
dude,
the
I've
Eagles
been
maybe
thinking
look
that.
that direction.
Yes, but dude, that's if he would want that, right?
No, he would want to be the head coach if he pops up on the
No, but
market.
I'm saying like, just given,
He knows but he knows what the culture's like. He's already won a
yeah,
Super Bowl here,
yeah,
so
and
like,
they have history, so they might be willing to work with him more than they would another coach that they don't really know and trust because I think they're just so terrified of ever having another Chip Kelly situation. So, like they're just so
yes, yes,
absolutely scared of that they will never ever like trust somebody to that extent to give them the keys, right?
yeah, and you're 100% right. Sorry, my wife just texted me.
No, you're good.
Um, fill the air for a second.
Just fill the air. Okay. A pea, a peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. There you go. Discuss.
Yeah, okay, thanks. um, no, but you were 100% correct. I think that Howie, more than Jeff, is so terrified of a Chip Kelly situation.
Well,
Somebody coming in
also,
and taking over his team and
well,
kicking him
see,
to the curb.
this is another thing too that you have to think about that scares me as well. Is Jeff Lurie also took his son and put him on the head of the analytics department, which actually is scheming plays now. Like they're running the game plan. Like I guess they come out with the general outline of the game plan, and then they work off of that.
I
And that
didn't.
scares me. Yeah, that his son
No,
is
I knew he was.
running.
I didn't know that they were
Yeah,
taking. I didn't know that they were taking analytics into account when they're calling plays on the field. So that's information I didn't have. That's a bit intense.
yeah.
This good question from Tim Hawkins. Maybe it's time to move on from Howie. He built this team.
I think.
So here's the thing, and I saw this meme on Facebook yesterday. It's a picture of a house and a car. The house is like falling apart around everything. The car is a Lamborghini in the driveway, and the caption is "Eagles talent over the Lamborghini," and Eagles play calling is the house.
Yeah.
Uh, there's so much talent on the team that I think you just need to find the right coordinators, because look what they did last year. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a career year, was in the running for MVP. Defense was pretty solid last year. I know that they shat the bed against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but outside of that, they looked pretty solid last year. And listen, I'm not a John Gannon fan. I don't like John Gannon, but for
All
anybody who thought that Sean Desai was going to be better this year, I think John Gannon has proven you wrong. Um,
Not
so
naming
I
names.
so I think I, I think it's time to get some new coordinators. Especially, I told you, you're hearing it
Yeah.
here first from Bill Brandt. Is they're going to get they're in the playoffs. They're going to get beat on the road by anybody. I don't care who it is.
Honestly, I agree with you 100% to the point that I am so scared by what is going on right now that they can't make adjustments, that they can't get this straight, that it's at a level of ineptitude that makes me think
Good word.
that they can't turn it around and we really need to move away from them. And I mean, I don't know. We need to get somebody in here
Here's
to
something.
just redefine the culture again too, because we've lost our way as Eagles. Like,
Yeah,
you don't want to hit people? What? I mean,
yeah.
like, come on, man. Like,
So Tim Hawkins brought this up in the chat earlier. I am gonna point it out. We may have seen the last time Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, or Fletcher Cox
Mm,
play a home game for Philadelphia.
heavy.
That's heavy. I mean, I know that two of them are playing at pretty decent levels, but Jason Kelsey is still at the top of his damn game. It's going to suck to see him go.
Mm,
Uh, Ken Brandt asks this question. What do you think? Do they beat the Giants on Sunday?
I think so.
Oh, I don't. They don't have a reason to play. They're the number 5 seed. They'll know by the time they play that the Cowboys have already beaten the Commanders. I don't think the starters play.
Well, I don't think the
AJ
starters
Brown
play
won't
either, but
play. Jalen Hurts won't play. I mean, Devontae Smith's already not playing. Um, there's no reason to risk somebody getting hurt in case you think you can actually win a road game in the playoffs, which I don't think they can.
dude, I have 100% thousand faith in Mariota that he's gonna get okay, dude. Like,
I've
I,
been so
I,
happy that we haven't had to watch Marcus Mariota quarterback the
his,
Philadelphia Eagles.
his face, dude.
Oh, are both games at 4:30? I thought the Cowboys played at 1. Oh no, it is 4:20. They're both 4:30 games. So no, maybe the Eagles do actually play their starters. Still don't know if they beat them.
I don't think it's worth it really to start.
You
Put the
could still
starters
be
in.
you could still be the 2 seed and have home field except for against the Niners. It would be a big deal to get the 2 seed.
But don't the Cowboys have to lose for them to get two
The
seed?
Cowboys have to lose to the Commanders. The Eagles have to beat the Giants. Yes.
The Commanders, the people that already gave up on their season, how many weeks ago?
Several.
They traded away Chase Young to. I mean, like,
Several.
come on, bro. Is that collusion?
It's absolutely a delusion. However, you still play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But no,
That's what I'm saying.
again, regardless, the way the defense is playing right now, you can't stop anybody. They have Saquon Barkley. I don't know.
Dude, how amazing would it be though if Sam Howell actually like beat the Cowboys? That would be
played like
awesome.
he did against the Eagles, against the Cowboys. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
the Cowboys actually have a secondary.
True.
Hmm.
The guy
Yeah.
just broke the record too. Is he
Yeah.
playing? Is he or is he? Because I know one of the corners is hurt.
Well, Trayvon Diggs, has been hurt the whole season.
No. The
This
other
kid
guy.
actually took his spot. I don't know. I don't really follow the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell their corners keep getting hurt like that. It's
Conditioning,
nuts. Yeah, I guess.
arrogance. I don't know.
Arrogance. Those don't sound like real answers.
But man,
Yeah,
well,
depressing.
it is. Yeah, I know. But let me go back and do what I always do at the end of a show and give you a positive. The 2012 Baltimore Ravens finished out the season in identical fashion to the Philadelphia
Oh
Eagles,
god,
and they went on to win a Super Bowl.
I heard this one earlier.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Wait,
But
hold on. Like, can we actually see who was? Was that Ed Reed and Ray?
oh
Who
yeah,
was
and
their
Ed
defense?
Reed, Ray Lewis,
Terrell Suggs.
Terrell Suggs, Peanut Jackson. Yeah, no,
Um,
that defense was so good.
wait, Saragusa?
No, Goose was 2000.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he played for like 15 years.
He might have, but I know he was on the team that won in 2000, so I doubt he was on the 2012 team.
Could you imagine?
That would have been a long time
It's
playing,
just
man.
like, I'm 47, still here.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us here. I gave you
Yep.
your positive. The Eagles are still technically 11-5, but feels a lot different than it did a month ago when I was saying we were 10-1. It's just depressing at this point. It's tough to be a Philly fan. It's tough to be
Honestly,
a
I
Philly
still
fan.
I still have faith that they could turn it around. I'm just not holding my breath for that ever to happen because it's just the thing is the roster has talent on it. It's just
Yes, they're
whether or
so
not that
talented.
can
Yeah,
be it can be honed in to do what it needs to do, right?
yeah, yeah. No, dude, you're 100% right. Um, let's. I had a thought that I just completely lost.
Let's
Yeah, I don't know. I lost it. Uh, I hope they turn it around. I do. I hope they seriously, if they come out and kick the shit out of the Giants this week, I'm still not going to feel good about the first round of the playoffs. But if
Yeah.
they go on the road somewhere and kick the shit out of somebody and do it like dominantly, maybe going into the week 2 of the playoffs, I'll think to myself, okay, they actually have a shot to run the table here. But right now, I don't feel that way.
If they win a playoff game, dude, that will be surprising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh no,
Like,
I'm telling you right here, right now. I'm telling you, I don't think they go into maybe Atlanta, but they don't go to New Orleans and win, and they don't go to Tampa and win. Nope, I just don't see it. Um, Atlanta. Oh no, Atlanta's been eliminated, so it's either New Orleans or Tampa, and I don't think they're going to beat either of those teams, so it doesn't matter.
uh, I don't know. I mean, as far as teams that we could beat, those are the those are the ones.
Well, yeah, the ones making the playoffs, of course, yeah. I don't think they could go to Detroit and win. I mean, maybe. I don't think they can go to Dallas and win. Maybe.
Detroit,
They're
I don't
not.
see that. Nah, Detroit,
I
that's
don't.
not happening.
I don't
I
know
don't
that they're
even
going to.
it's crappy
Like,
as much as I talk on Jared Goff all day long. I'll always talk shit to Jared Goff. He would actually get that game done.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here on BSing Sports, part of the BSing Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.